Hey, what's up guys? It's Alex here again. In this quick video, what I want to do is show you a little uh, piece of software. It's not a little piece of software, actually it's a pretty expansive piece of software, but it is one of the best methods by which to either build your website itself, or if you're happy with your website, to simply support the website with a lot of really slick, modern looking sales pages or squeeze pages or training pages or webinar pages. And I want to discuss first of all the kind of origin and my history with this platform, because if you've watched my other videos, you know I'm a big fan of WordPress. I've been using WordPress for the last 6 or 7 years on my own websites and also client websites, because I'm an online marketing consultant. But what I want to discuss with you is this platform called OptimizePress. Historically, OptimizePress came out a number of years ago, version 1 did, and at the time it was very much a kind of industry leading piece of software, because it kind of gave you access to a lot of the kind of important page layout in terms of sales pages, squeeze pages, and so on, that you couldn't really build yourself, and certainly any other website or WordPress theme was not really providing within the theme. You know, you go to a theme company and you buy a WordPress theme, and a lot of them these days are phenomenal themes, pieces of kit, developed by world-class programmers and developers and designers. But a lot of the limitation with that is that they don't have a lot of the important components for internet marketing as a kind of default page layout. So sales pages and squeeze pages being the primary functions that I would recommend that any company really should be using. Quite often themes don't have those as a default. You can build them potentially within the theme, but you need to know how to do that, and you need to know what layout works and what design style works, and how to build a page. OptimizePress came along a number of years ago, and it basically offered you a theme for WordPress, which had a lot of these pre-built templates. Now, there were a number of limitations with that, and that's just technology, of course. Every new bit of technology is great for a while, and then over time people kind of get to know the system and discover these little quirks or issues or limitations with the software. I had a number of issues with OptimizePress version 1 over a while, where I was building websites, but what I found was kind of restrictive was you couldn't really build an entire website with OptimizePress, or certainly you couldn't build a website that was consistent and stylish. It had great sales pages and squeeze pages, don't get me wrong, but it didn't look phenomenal as an overall website. And the reason for that was you were limited to very strict templates of pages. So you could get a page that looked much like this, but you had to basically just use the button that was given to you, change out some of the kind of feature tick boxes, add your own video, and change the titles, and you had some control over that, sizing and fonts and things like that. But it never really looked like a phenomenal website. It looked pretty good. Also then, over time, I kind of felt a lot of the elements became dated. So things like the buttons, you just started to, it was kind of the style of button that kind of flooded the market over the last number of years. So it started to look a little more generic and a little more, seen it and done it before. And that's not what you want from a website. You want it to feel slick and polished and professional and new. So anybody coming onto the website is immediately taken with the styling of the website. So I felt that OptimizePress went down that route. The other problem was it could only be installed as a theme. So you either had to have multiple installations of WordPress, or you had to just go with it as your overall website design. And as I said earlier there, it as a design package wasn't great. You just didn't have enough flexibility to create a full website. Now, the great thing, and the thing that I'm here to discuss with you today, is that OptimizePress last year, late 2013, released version 2.0. And version 2.0 is so far ahead of where the original OptimizePress was, but also so far ahead of where any of the competitors are at right now, that I feel it can actually now be used to build entire websites. So excellent marketing websites, sales pages, squeeze pages, membership pages, uh, content delivery pages, webinar pages, and so on. And I'm about to show you, we're on just on the OptimizePress website here, but I'm about to show you one of the websites that I have built myself from scratch as a complete website. And if we go to that now, it's called Zenith Fitness Marketing. And basically, I built the entire website from scratch using OptimizePress. No external themes, no other themes, and so on, but literally just using OptimizePress for the entire website build. So you've got your kind of homepage here. You land on it, and you've got a bit of a description about what you're going to get of the page, and then scroll down, little opt-in box, nice little button with hover over effect, all these little elements like the arrows and you know, the images, the little arrows here, background image in the background there, feature boxes, so you can choose multiple different styles of like these little ticks and so on. You know, kind of our clients have been featured in and on. Podcast, different button, different call to action, testimonial styles with nice little images, little title banners, nice colors, these sort of feature blocks again where you can choose multiple customized icons to really set yourself apart. Again, background images, titles, other styles of tick boxes and columns, call to action buttons, social sharing options, all sorts of stuff there. That's just the home page. Then we've got sales pages. So the membership sales page I built again using OptimizePress and one of their basically one of their pre-built templates, and just switching out content. And it was designed so well that I had very little that I needed to change apart from the content itself. Again, all the feature boxes here, little tick boxes, social sharing options, titles, images, call to action buttons, and so on. So sales pages are a good one to build. Opt-in pages or squeeze pages, like this, much more simplified version of the home page that I just showed you, with little kind of social options and feature options there. But the beauty of OptimizePress, as I see it now, is that it really is a complete package where you can build these pages from scratch, or actually using the OptimizePress templates, which these days are again so far ahead of where they were 3-4 years ago or before OptimizePress 2 came out. The other fantastic thing about OptimizePress 2.0 is that no longer are you limited to just having it as a theme on your website. If you have a website that you're really happy with, but you want to be able to create really high impact, high converting sales pages or squeeze pages or webinar pages or whatever your goal is, it's now available as a plugin, which is fantastic because it means that you can keep the styling on your website and simply add it on as a plugin, an external piece of software to create your sales and squeeze pages. What I want to show you is actually some of the workings of the system, just so you can see how easy it is to switch in and out and create different pages. So for the interest of that, what I'm going to do is focus on this sales page that I created. And then we'll go up to the edit page button in WordPress, click into edit page, and it'll take you into the option where you can now make use of a live editor, which again, the old OptimizePress did not have. So if we click launch now, it'll bring up a back-end representation of the page, how it looks. And you'll see here, you can see exactly how it looks based on the page that we just looked at. So as this loads, what you'll see is we have things called rows, which are just the overall area. We have elements, which are these little things that pop up with the dotted line around them, which you can edit freely by choosing this, or you can duplicate using this little kind of double page button, or you can change settings in, or you can drag and drop positioning. And this is a fantastic live editor in that it is drag and drop simple. So that's really, really important for people who perhaps aren't that au fait with WordPress or building a web page and so on. You've got so many different customizable options. You've got the little arrows that I showed you earlier, titles, text, little vertical spacer button or spacer elements, call to action buttons, little countdown timers, normal text, feature areas. So again, you can choose these icons and so on. What I want to do for this is really just go into some of the elements and show you how it all works and how easy and intuitive it actually is, and why I personally believe this should be your #1 go-to, not only marketing tool in terms of sales pages and squeeze pages, but if in doubt, you can actually build a website, and it can be the #1 go-to theme to build your website. So say for instance we have this timer has run out, okay? So I want to edit the timer to make it live again. So I'm going to click the little edit button and go up here, and it's as simple as either choosing the time or going back and choosing a different style. Okay, so I'm happy with this style. What I want to do is choose a different time. So we're going for 24th of September 2014, and then we're going to click insert, and that should bring up the working timer now as it ticks down. And that's great, of course, if you've got a sales page or an offer or a product launch, that you create a bit of urgency there within the page. So that is how you edit that. If you go into the button, I want to show you something, because this is one of the huge coups for OptimizePress 2.0 is the editing options for the call to action buttons. I think this is huge. For instance, you can change the text live, so you can like that, and it automatically updates above. You can change the sizing of the call to action. You see it automatically updates there. Drop it back down. You can change the color. You can change whether it's bold, italic, or underline. You can change the letter spacing. Now this is of course probably more than you perhaps need to know about the editing options, but I just want to show you the flexibility of this particular system. You've also got subtext below your primary call to action. You see here we have start building your fitness empire using our free trial. The styling options then is really where it kicks off. It's phenomenal. You can create borders like so, and of course different colors of borders. You can change the radius of the button itself like that. You can change the width of the button, the height of the button, the border opacity. That just means the heaviness of the border, whether it's see-through or not. You can create gradients like this, or shines like that, straight away just by ticking the buttons. You can change the color of the button. You can put drop shadows, inner shadows, text shadows, and then link through to payment buttons and so on. So once you're happy with changes, say we haven't really changed much apart from the title, the call to action font there, but we'll insert that anyway and see what it looks like. You can see it automatically updates, which I mean is a phenomenal editing option for this particular theme, because quite often one of the limitations with normal WordPress themes is that the call to action buttons that are perhaps bundled with the theme generally look pretty terrible. They're not bold enough, they're not striking enough, they're too small. There's not that many options to do with being able to edit those buttons. Also another great feature are these little feature icons that you'll see I kind of scatter around all the pages. Always really good to choose those. So what happens is if you want to edit those, you can simply go in and you'll see how many, I mean there's hundreds of icons. These are kind of, to me, a little sort of Microsoft-y. They're maybe not my personal taste, but you can still use them. Then we've got kind of black and white, monotone type icons. Again, plenty of options there. And then if you scroll on down, you've got all these color options, which I really like. You know, all these little icons that you can make fool yourself within OptimizePress to say what you need to say about your product or your service or whatever it is. So say we want to change that icon, and I can't even remember what it was, but we'll put in these little money bags, okay? And then we'll, it's frozen a little. Hang on, I'll go back out of it. Let's see. Actually, we'll save and close and go back in. one thing I have noticed is there seems to be this little issue with using OptimizePress in Safari for some reason. It doesn't happen in Chrome or Firefox that I've seen. But basically, if you edit certain elements, it kind of it freezes the little editor, so you kind of have to save and close and come back into it, which is a bit of a pain. But if in doubt, just use Chrome or Firefox for that. So anyway, I'll go back into these icons here, and then click on the icon to change, scroll down to whatever one I want. Let's go for the cloud here, and then just click insert, and you'll notice straight away it's popped it into the place of the icon that was there before. Okay, so you can do that with any of those editing, those little icons. Again, little elements like the social sharing options are really good. Multiple design styles for that as well. You can go for kind of very standard. Let's see if we go back, I'll show you all the different styles. Very standard kind of social share options, columned, just on their own. Then you get into kind of nicer design, much more modern, flat design, little gradient design, stacked in columns, and so on. Plenty of options there that you could go with, and they all look really, really slick and will fit into most website styles. Then you've got little things like, you know, your images. OptimizePress seems to really successfully resize and shift images so they fit perfectly within your web page width, which quite often can be a problem on other platforms that I've used for creating websites like Kajabi and other WordPress themes as well, whereby you put in a large image at say 1500 pixels because it's a high resolution image, and then it just kind of overtakes the entire page. OptimizePress resizes and fits it into the page, the width of your page, without losing any quality or resolution, which is really important for me personally as a designer. So that is really how it works. Over at this left hand side, you can save and continue. So if you've made some changes and you just want to keep editing, save and continue or save and close. You can view the link of the web page here. You can choose whether to publish or draft it. You can, which is another really excellent option, look at page revisions. So it'll show you the current state of the page. Now this is based on, of course, a mobile kind of layout. And then you could go back. Here's a little revision that was done some time ago. So you can see side by side how these page options look. You see there the only real difference is that button and the fact that our registration countdown timer is back on. But say you preferred the revision of the old revision, all you have to do is have that selected and click restore, and it'll shoot it back so you're at your previous revision if you want to kind of just get rid of a load of the recent changes you've performed on the website. Also then there's a lot of layout options. You can choose your header, style, all these different things, add your logos, your header banners, change the header color, change links and things like that, choose menu systems to go with. So many editing options there alone. Within the text then, again, another really big thing for me, I'm very into layouts and conversion strategies and stuff like that. Text and font size and spacing is a huge thing for conversion, but also for engagement within your website. And OptimizePress gives you a lot of editing options. You can change so many of the, I've got this little issue with the Safari thing happening again. So many of the editing options with fonts. You can look at all the different sizes you can choose, the font styles. They've got all sorts of Google fonts as well. Just going to scroll down a little bit. You can see all there. There's so many different options, whether you're normal, bold, italic, thin, so on, color of the text, spacing of the text, shadow of the text, alignment of the text, line height. Line height's a huge one for making something legible, for making your body content on a website legible. So always make sure it's spaced out nicely. You see all of the text on this website is legible. This could maybe be a little bit bigger, but aside from that, it all looks really well. It's the font size and style and spacing is very well laid out. Something you should always kind of attend to. But it just goes to show the editing options that are now available specifically with OptimizePress 2. And the other great thing is OptimizePress is only, I think, for a basic package these days, $97. You see here, this is their own website, and you can see how they've made use of the little icons that I've shown you. You have access to all of that. You could create this website yourself, and that is the beauty of OptimizePress, is you can now create websites that are phenomenal just as standalone websites, rather than just being a pretty good tool for creating sales pages and squeeze pages. Okay, so this entire page has been created using OptimizePress. So it's one I highly recommend if you're in any doubt as to whether to go with a standalone WordPress theme or OptimizePress. If your focus is on marketing, OptimizePress cannot be beaten. It looks phenomenal. It's super easy to lay out pages. One thing I should show you actually is if you want to create a new page and all the different options for that from scratch. So if I go to Page Builder here, we'll come into OptimizePress. We'll do title it tester, check availability, it's available. Then what you do is you use a content template, and you can go for a homepage layout, membership pages. So this would all be for delivery of content, say, training videos and so on. You've got your squeeze pages or opt-in pages here, all of which look phenomenal, really, really good. And then you've got other pages like download pages if you're delivering content again, sales pages, and webinar pages, and that's it. So one of the pages which I want to show you is this one, because this compares to the page I showed you within the website. So all you have to do is select the template, click proceed to step 2. It'll throw you into the live editor automatically, like so. And once it loads, this should look pretty familiar to you. And in fact, we'll go back to the website here, and I can just show you why it looks familiar. We go to the Join Now page. This was built using this template. So you've got your title at the top. Here you've got your subheading. You've got your big image of an iMac that I've edited myself. And then you've got your get started with a free trial. So insert a headline here, blah, 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 get started now. All I've done is switch out the content, tailor it a little bit, add little elements like the countdown timers and the featured areas, but a lot of it has already been laid out for me. So you can just switch out your content. That is another of the major reasons that I think OptimizePress is a phenomenal tool to get started with to build your website these days. What else did I want to show you there? The options for all the different elements there. We looked at a few of them, like the countdown timers, the buttons, and so on. But I want to show you, if you wanted to add a new element, just how easy it is. So if we go into the page that we were looking at earlier, and let me see. So as I said before, a row is the overall area, and then elements are the little dashed lines that you see highlight up as I scroll over all these different things. So if I want to add a new element here, all I do is click Add New Element, and then it brings up all the different options. So I can do 2-column text, arrows like you'd seen earlier, audio players, bullet blocks, call to action buttons, calendar, date and time, content toggles, countdown timers like we showed you, custom HTML if you're into that kind of thing, Facebook comments, feature blocks, feature box, guarantee box if you're doing like a sale of a product, image with text, membership login forms, navigation, opt-in boxes, order box, pricing graphics, pricing tables, progress bars. I mean, it's an almost endless and complete list of options that you can basically tailor your page with. So say I want to add in let's see, feature block. Okay, I'll click on the feature block, and that will bring up the styling options that I've got access to here. I'm going to go with say this one. Then how many columns do I want? 3 columns, add new, choose your icon. So again, you get that huge list of all the different icons up. I just choose one of these basic ones like this. Put in title. And so on. You could add your other columns then, what you want to do. is click insert and it'll pop the column in here. So that was your first column and you would add it other ones, okay? And then if you're happy with that, you click save and close or save and continue, or you can drag and drop it around like this. Okay, but that just shows you how easy it is to add content and why the page builder itself is pretty much industry leading, and why I certainly recommend, if you want to go for OptimizePress. So hopefully that was an informative overview of OptimizePress. I highly recommend it. I get no money from it. I'm not an affiliate of OptimizePress, so I don't get any commission if you go and buy it through a link of mine or anything like that. But it's just a tool that, as a marketer, as a designer, as an online professional, I think is industry leading. For $97 for a 3-site license, you cannot go far wrong with that. The editing options, the features, the functionality it offers you, and the styling of everything really is at the top level. And you couldn't really go far wrong if you decided to build your entire website using OptimizePress. So hopefully that was of help. If you want any more free training, you can go to my own website, alexfleck.com, or my agency website, zenithdesignstudios.com, which is here. Actually, I'll show you the sales page. So this is the agency website, but then we used OptimizePress as a plugin, like I'd shown you before, and created another sales page here. There's all the different options you get to add in, another opt-in box, and so on. So that gives you an idea, again, of the flexibility that I was talking about earlier. So if you do have any questions or queries about what my experience is with OptimizePress or WordPress itself, please don't hesitate to fire in a comment below the video, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Hopefully it's been of help. Feel free to check out the OptimizePress website, OptimizePress.com, and as I say, a recommended platform. Go ahead and use it. I don't think you'd be disappointed. Especially if you don't have that much experience with WordPress. It makes the whole process very, very simple, and the support that they offer is also excellent. For instance, if you're adding, final thing, sorry to go back and forth, but if you're adding different elements and you're not sure how to do it, say for instance an image here, once it loads, okay, if you go into edit, there's a little info button here. If you ever get stuck, just click that. A little video will pop up showing you step by step exactly how to edit images and add images. Okay, so again, that's part of the real benefit of choosing OptimizePress, is you get all that kind of support pre-built into the theme. You don't have to go and email anybody necessarily, but they also have a support forum as well, where you can get access to the team and other people that use OptimizePress who will help you out. So hopefully that was of help. Let me know what you thought of the video, and check out more free training on alexfleck.com and zenithdesignstudios.com, and I will catch you in the next video. Cheers!